presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And Cardinals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The roof is open here at Miller Park, and the Cardinals are looking for a sweep. Game number 3, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. This series, the starting pitching has been outstanding for the Cardinals. Game 1, Carlos Martinez. Last night, vintage Adam Wainwright combined 13 innings, 7 hits, only 2 runs allowed. What stands out, 20 strikeouts. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And now the Game 3 starter is the youngster, Luke Weaver.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Luke Weaver. This will be his 4th start. And the one thing that I've taken away from it is he's a strike thrower. But more importantly, everything is down in the zone. So even if he throws the ball in the middle, it's probably going to be a ground ball. He's learned from every one of the starts, and I'm looking forward to this one tonight.
Cardinals looking for a sweep. Better late than never in these games to come back and win. Randall Grichuk game-tying home run in Game 1. Game 2, the game-winning RBI. Baseball coming up. Orioles last night. Jerko. He now is up to 24 this year, and that's a new career high. It's not just Jerko. This entire team hitting a ton of home runs. The Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. 19 straight games with a homer. That's a franchise record tied with the 06 team. 45 hit in August, a new team record. 20 consecutive games with a home run at this ballpark. It all adds up to 188 home runs this year, tops in the National League. Well, these two, Jed Jerko and Brandon Moss, have combined to hit 49 home runs this year. They're practicing their home run swing, providing some souvenirs about an hour ago. Let's see it in live action coming up. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. by Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. As you can see, the roof is open here at Miller Park in Milwaukee. 70 degrees, beautiful day here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Al Hrabosky, Jim Hayes, Dan McLaughlin with you from Miller Park. And there's a look at the Cardinals leadoff man, Matt Carpenter. He'll lead it off, followed by Jed Jerko and then Brandon Moss. Johnny Peralta, Yadier Molina, Randall Grichuk, Jeremy Hazelbaker, Greg Garcia, and the pitcher batting ninth, Luke Weaver. It's another chance for Mike Matheny's club, Al, to get to 10 games above 500. That has eluded them this entire season.
Well, do it here. They're on the road, and they dominated against Milwaukee. Don't leave anything unturned. You got Matt Garza, who signed the largest free agent contract ever, larger than Jeff Supon's contract. He's been a bust pretty much. Last year was just a horrible year for him. He's very, very talented, but he usually makes enough mistakes that you can beat him.
The Cardinals' best road record in baseball. Win number 40 last night away from Busch Stadium. They're 40-24 and looking to complete a 3-game sweep at Milwaukee for the first time since September of last year. Brewers have fallen on tough times in the midst of a 6-game losing skid. They were swept at home in a 4-game series with Pittsburgh, and they've dropped the first 2 against the Cardinals.
First full season for Counsell at the helm here.
And the 2-1 pitch. High fly ball lifted out to left. That's Ryan Braun. 1 away. Hyundai pitch arsenal on Matt Garza. Began the season on the DL. He features a fastball, slider, curve, and the changeup.
Yeah, injuries have been a factor lately for Garza. A lot of little nagging injuries. You know, he used to be known as a guy that take the ball every 5th day, but those injuries have piled up. He loves his slider. You know, can't wait to get to that slider.
Here's Jed Jerko. Mighty cut. Last night, his 10th home run in the month of August. Last Cardinal to hit double figures in home runs in 1 month was May of 2012. And that was Carlos Beltran in his first season in St. Louis.
And when I say he can't wait to get to his slider, the fastball will set up, but then he loves to be ahead where he can put you away with that slider.
Here's the 0-2. Hit sharply to second, and off the knee it looked like a Perez, and that'll be his 9th error. The Brewers lead all of Major League Baseball in errors. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Ryan Braun in left, Keon Broxton a speedster in center, Kirk Nieuwenhuis is in right. Villar, Arcia, Perez, and Carter along the infield. Maldonado is behind the plate. Perez can play the outfield, he can play the infield, and because of that, Scooter Gennett sits tonight against Luke Weaver.
Said he could play the outfield, but you know, this is the first year he's ever played the outfield. And our first time has seen Perez over at second base.
So runner at first, and here is Brandon Moss. Moss leads the club in home runs with 25. Pretty amazing. He homers just about once every 13 ABs this year.
Great numbers against Garza. 467, 7 for 15 with a home run.
Not that the Cardinals would bunt in this spot, certainly with Brandon Moss at the plate. But I bring this up because Matt Garza, and if we get down in the order, we may see this. He really struggles fielding his position, in particular throwing the ball to first base.
Yeah, he's committed 3 errors this year, but he has kind of the Lester mentality. It kind of freaks him out when he has to throw.
Now throwing over and checking on a runner, it's okay. It's not great, but fielding the ball,
position.
Yeah, and throwing to a bag has been problematic for him.
And the more we talk about it, the more it gets into his head and becomes a problem.
Sure. So after the air, it's now 3-0 on Moss. And he rips it into right, sinking liner, and the catch is made by Nieuwenhuis. Throw to first, and Jerko is back in safely.
Can't hit a ball any harder than that. It's a BB going out to right field. Nieuwenhuis makes a very nice play on it. Ball gets out there in a hurry. Comes in, and now he tries to double up. Jerko over there. Ball gets away, but the catcher, Maldonado, backing the play up.
So 2 outs, and it brings in Peralta, a career .360 hitter at this ballpark, and now very good numbers against Garza.
.450 average, 18 for 40 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. And you know Garza is very well aware of those numbers.
They play him to pull in the outfield, and the first pitch is taken for a strike. Let's turn to Al's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, you got to be ready for Garza's mistake. I was talking to Brandon Moss, and you know, we said you must see the ball really well from Garza. He said, no, it's not that. I just see that he makes a lot of mistakes to me, and I've been able to capitalize. Isn't that a little better than leave it to Weaver?
That was going to be the Truck's key to the game,
but not
yours. You said absolutely not.
No, we're leave it to Weaver. Come on, guys.
Can't believe that Tom Mee would come up with that kind of idea.
It's unbelievable what Tom, and he thinks that's funny.
And Brian McCann, our producer, would never come up with something like that.
Absolutely not.
That's all Tom Mee.
Boy, Tom's old.
The 2-1 pitch, and it's tapped foul. I do see a little Eddie Haskell, though, in you, Al.
No way.
Oh, yeah. A lot of Eddie Haskell in you.
I'd rather be the Fonz.
Now, that's Happy Days.
I know.
So you like him. I got you.
Rather be that guy than Eddie Haskell.
The 2-2, and he struck him out. First strikeout for Garza. Luke Weaver. Leave it to Weaver when we come back. There you go, Al. That's you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Fonz. The show based right here in Milwaukee. Happy Days. Hey.
That's only if I had to pick one.
You're so cool. From the Fonz to leave it to Weaver. Here's Luke. And start number 4. And he's gotten better and better with each start as he's gone along.
Yeah, he's gone deeper into the ball game. He's gotten a little more efficient each time out. And like I said, what I'm most impressed with is his ability to pitch at the bottom of the strike zone. And as advertised, I think he's a little more polished than Alex Reyes, but two very, very important and big pieces of the future of the Cardinals, and we're seeing it now.
Jonathan VR, the switch hitter, will lead it off, followed by Kirk Nieuwenhuis and then Ryan Braun. Perez, Carter with 30 home runs, Broxton, Arcia, Maldonado, and the pitcher Garza. First pitch by Luke Weaver is taken for a ball. You brought up the point the other night that the Cardinals could very well benefit from the fact that Luke Weaver had a freak injury, could not throw, did not pitch. And it really has pushed back his timetable a bit in terms of when guys, especially those that have not pitched this deep into a season, he could benefit from that.
Most definitely. And he's a much better position than even Alex Reyes. Reyes had the suspension, but he was throwing every day in spring training and on through the first part of the season, where Weaver in spring training had the freak injury and fractured his left forearm. But now the benefit is to the Cardinals that you got a fresh arm.
And there's a strike, and it's 2-2. Fourth major league start for Weaver as he came up back on the 13th of August.
You see, look at where he'll throw these balls. Has allowed a home run in every game.
And that's a strikeout to start the night for Luke Weaver.
Once again, you see where pitch down at the bottom of the zone. Nice job framing it right there, and a generous strike. His getaway day.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal, fastball about 61% of the time, the change, curve, and cutter. Here's Kirk Nieuwenhuis. Made a nice play in right field on the screamer off the bat of Brandon Moss. When the Cardinals purchased the contract of Weaver, he was 9th among Texas leaguers in strikeouts, despite the fact he started the season 2 months later than everybody else. Good changeup, 1-1.
And again, it's down, so even if they do hit it, they're more than likely will pound it on the ground. Got the shift on here, 3 infielders on the right side.
Obviously, the first time he has faced Milwaukee. However, he did pitch last year, a little over a year ago, against their advanced A club. Now think about that. Weaver was at A ball, now he's in the major leagues. 1-2 pitch, hit out of play.
Think about it, how he was the #1 draft pick for the Cardinals in 2014. So kind of raced through the minor leagues. First time I really heard about him was from some of the veteran pitchers talking about him in spring training, how impressed they were with, you know, how he handled himself in spring and how much he wanted to learn.
This time last year too, Al, it wasn't a great season for him in the minor leagues. Some within the organization said, well, he's young, obviously, you know, maybe he'll catch on, but it was a little bit of a disappointment what we saw. And then this year he has just burst onto the scene. Everything came together for him. You just never know. 2-2. Struck him out. So back-to-back strikeouts. Good changeup by Weaver. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Hazelbaker in left, Grichuk in center, Moss is in right. Peralta, Jerko, Garcia, Carpenter on the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate.
Dan, I can't emphasize enough, I think the way the Cardinals do things in spring training, by bringing in so many of their top prospects, getting involved with the major league camp, getting to know the players that are going to be your potential teammates, but see how they react, how they handle themselves. And then when you are called up, you know, you're going to friends. You've got a relationship with people. You're not in total awe of the big leagues, and you feel like you're a part of it and feel more comfortable.
Assuming that was not the case when you were coming up?
Well, I was very fortunate because, you know, I signed in June, and I went to my first spring training. I went to the big league camp, and then I was called up in June of that first year. So
you had some familiarity.
Yeah, and I also went to winter ball and played with a lot of the AAA fringe major league players from a Cardinal team in the Dominican.
It is by design. You know, the Cardinals, the way they have it set up in Jupiter, Florida, you have the main clubhouse with the major leaguers, and as you mentioned, a lot of guys invited to major league camp, but right down the hall are the minor leaguers, and they pass each other every day. That's well hit into right center, but that'll stay in the ballpark, and the catch is made by Brandon Moss. So 1-2-3 for Luke Weaver. No score after one. #27th. Fans purchasing the special theme ticket receive a limited edition replica green Cardinals jersey. And get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme. It brings in Yadier Molina as we start play here in the top of the second. Molina with career double number 300 last night, his 30th of the season. Hit up the middle and a base hit. First Cardinal hit off the bat of Molina, who's hit .330 in the month of August.
Yeah, really have had a very good second half.
Arcia in the driver's seat since the All-Star break. Molina at .345. We'll see Joey Votto on Friday night, leading all of Major League Baseball in the second half, hitting .428. And it brings in Randall Grichuk.
He's had an interesting last two games, hasn't he?
I would say so. Opposite field home run in the 8th that tied the game up at 5-5 in game 1. Cardinals obviously won it. And then last night, just sticking the bat out, picked up a base hit to right, the game-winning RBI.
Off the same pitcher for both bats.
Fans will be hearing about something that is going to be done for the first time with the Cardinals. And we're trying to get a hold of Benji Molina to bring him into town, into St. Louis. And we're going to have a couple of the broadcasts on radio, Spanish radio. And it'll be a part of the Latino and Hispanic community night cultural celebration a Cardinals t-shirt. And we're going to bring Benji in. There is a play-by-play announcer that does some fill-in work for the Dodgers. He's going to come in and do the play-by-play. And you'll hear about that coming up at the end of this month.
Great idea.
Yep.
When are we going to do the Hungarian broadcast?
Whenever you want.
Oh, you're going to get rid of me that quick?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I walked into that one, didn't I?
You did. 1-2 the count on Grichuk. Short lead at first by Molina. Hits it down the right field line. It is slicing foul and out of play. It was actually with Alex Reyes, who voiced a couple of spots, promotional spots on the radio you'll be hearing. And I'll tell you what, he is a good kid. You know, as you get to know him a little bit more, Al, you're going to like him a lot. Very bright. Understands his position to learn from guys like Adam Wainwright, some of the older players. He is all ears, mouth is shut, and taking it all in.
Made a couple of mistakes, but boy, he has matured from them.
You know, the Cardinals, with what he went through, with the suspension in the minor leagues, they could have brought him up to the major league roster to start this season and not be suspended. But they felt it was to better serve him. You know, you learn the lesson.
Sure.
Plus, you still have time for growth in the minor leagues. He did all that, and he has been everything as advertised, both on and off the field.
It's my understanding he asked to speak to all the minor leaguers to inform them of, you know, his mistakes that he made, and hopefully they can avoid those by just being aware and what it cost him.
Normally the Cardinals would never do that, and they felt they needed to make that exception, and he had handwritten letters to those along the way that helped him get to this level, thanking them, appreciating their efforts and belief in him. It's a good kid. Jeremy Hazelbaker scored the winning run as a pinch runner last night. Gets a start here in game 3 and looks at a strike.
You know, he did something in in batting practice tonight that rarely is done anymore. A lot of times guys just want to get down on the, you know, the end of the bat and just want to launch and hit home runs. Well, he was working on trying to go to the opposite field. He used to always watch Ted Simmons really accentuate hitting down on a ball, trying to hit line drives and hit the ball the opposite field. And of course, he was such a great hitter, and it's good to see guys work on things to make them a better hitter.
You ever watch Giancarlo Stanton? Every time he swings in batting practice, it's not the 500-foot shots. It's line drives opposite field. Just trying to stay within it.
Stay on the balls.
Yep.
You know, keep good technique.
Ted Simmons, of course, well respected in both organizations here with St. Louis and with the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's right. Traded to Milwaukee before the '82 season. Whitey Herzog wore 2 hats then, general manager and field manager, and called up his friend Harry Dalton, who was the general manager of Milwaukee, and said, "I'm going to give you the pennant." And it was one of those trades that really are the best trades that help both ball clubs. What the Cardinals got in return helped them win the National League pennant, and Simmons and others helped the Milwaukee win the American League pennant, and they met in the World Series, and Willie McGee became a star.
Yes, he did. 2-2 pitch. Hazelbaker hits it out of play. We had Teddy on the broadcast last year, and I said, who really helped you with your hitting? And it was interesting, and you know how philosophical he can get, but he was talking about from the left side of the plate, Ted, a great switch hitter, the positioning of his hands from Matty Alou. And he said he learned from Joe Torre one of the most important things in baseball, to fight off a pitch from the right side of the plate. He said that kept him alive in so many at-bats. And Simmons hit in front of Torre for much of the 1973 season.
You know, in 1971, when Joe won the batting title and the MVP of the National League, that's so much of what his success was fouling off pitches in on him and then taking the outside pitch and hitting it to right field or to the opposite field. And remember, that was back when Busch Stadium 2 was turf, but it only had the sliding pits. So the infielders, because Joe wasn't a fast runner by any means, they would play on the outfield grass, so to speak. They'd play so deep.
The circle that was painted in?
It was painted on there, but they could play all the way back. And, you know, he never got any, you know, infield hits, a lot like Molina, that, you know, he just rare for them to get an infield hit.
It's fouled back again. Simmons still holds the franchise record, career home runs and RBIs by a switch hitter. All-Star was 6 times with the Cardinals and twice in the American League. Great hitter, great player, and pretty good baseball executive too.
Oh yeah, very smart.
Initially, he was hired right out of playing by Dal Maxville to run the Cardinals farm system, and then just 3 years on the job, he was hired as the GM in Pittsburgh.
And then he had a tough assignment there because he had to dismantle that ball club.
Molina is dancing around first base, and Hazelbaker again hits it out of play. Nice note here from Justin Flappier. And Justin, the leader of their group, brought here to Miller Park to take in baseball. The 3-2 pitch taken low, and a very good at bat by Hazelbaker. First walk issued by Garza.
See a little bit low and a lot of pitches. Some in the strike zone and everything around the strike zone.
Well, you can see, and we've seen it many times with Matt Garza, he is a guy that has got a short fuse. And he was not happy that he didn't get the strike call there. He's been with Minnesota, Tampa Bay, the Cubs, Texas, and now Milwaukee. Curveball and a strike to Garcia. Matter of fact, back with Tampa Bay in 2008, he was the American League Championship Series MVP. He was 2-0, 1.38 ERA against the Boston Red Sox. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, there's no doubt that he has good stuff. But as you said, sometimes he will lose focus. You know, some of it's self-created, but if other guys around him don't make a play or two.
Here's a 1-1. Hit the other way, bobbled by VR. Out at second, and the potential double play is not made by VR, who, by the way, has committed 25 errors this season.
And in Garza's last start, VR made 2 errors and cost him 5 unearned runs. So the majority of those 25 errors came when he was playing shortstop. But because you got 50 steals and you're an offensive weapon, you'll still find you playing time.
Here's Luke Weaver, who is 3 for 5 to start his major league career.
2 hits in his game in Philadelphia. He got the 3rd one in his last start. So hopefully he can keep that hitting streak going.
Here's a 1-0 pitch with runners at the corners. Now we understand in his previous start that you talked about, which the errors were committed. Then he gave up a grand slam and had a tongue lashing that was picked up by cameras towards VR. Just wonder if VR is a little tight playing behind Matt Garza.
You know, and you think about that, you know, that could be.
Ground ball that's hit to short, force play at second.
Young player feels that pressure and continues to make errors.
birthday. 7 innings, 1-run ball. Waino saying he went with a more aggressive delivery. He also said he changed everything, how he trained, how he warmed up, switched to grape jelly on his pregame PB&J instead of the usual strawberry. He also went with the short pants and stirrups. Now, Adam conducted a Twitter poll today to find out what Cardinal fans preferred, short pants or the longer ones. Wainwright told me he didn't expect it, but he got literally thousands and thousands of responses. Short pants, stirrups, won in a landslide. So that's what he'll wear for his next start. Dan, Waino told me, I'm a man of the people, and the people have spoken.
He also said, quote, every time one of the distinguished media members of this United States starts writing articles about how we're over the hill and we're in decline, talking about he and Molina, it makes our dander get up a little bit. He said he's wired like me. And those two have been doing this a long, long time. I like it.
So we like the proper way to wear the Cardinal uniform versus the George Hendrick.
Silent George.
Silent George. One of my favorites.
And he was anything but, and is anything but silent when you talk to him without a microphone.
Yeah, I mean, and he would be so respectful to the press. You know, how's your family? How's this? They go, oh, maybe I can do an interview with you. And then he'd say, politely, you know the rules. I don't speak. But he was always cordial to him. Felt like he got burned early in his career, and by a reporter, and so he made that stance.
Here's Perez, and he fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I assume he's still with the Tampa Bay. You know, first base coach there for several years now.
Many years with Joe Madden, now in Chicago. Dave Martinez went with Joe. There's a strikeout, and that's 3 of 4 that Weaver has gotten via the strikeout to start this game.
Well, it is impressive, but yet when you're striking out the Milwaukee Brewers, it's not unusual. 13 from Martinez the first game, and you got 7 more from Wainwright. They're on pace to break the major league record for strikeouts, the Brewers.
When you look at VR at the top of their lineup, he strikes out a ton. There's the line from Monday night. And Kreider strikes out a lot, but he also gives you power. He has 30 home runs. 3rd in the National League. Chris Bryant and Nolan Arenado both with 35.
170 strikeouts for Carter. Tops in the National League.
It's a high fly ball into right center field. Grichuk is there and makes the catch. With MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live in high definition on over 400 supported devices. And that includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. So 2 outs, and it brings in Keon Broxton. Got off to a horrible start. He's been up and down with the Milwaukee Brewers 4 different times. His average at 226. The Brewers really feel he's going to hit for power and obviously hit for average and get on base and use those legs. He is quick.
He was 0 for 24, and then his first major league hit was a bunt single. But we saw last night that he can run.
Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
Talked about it last night, how they got Broxton to lower his hands, trying to find some comfortable spot, but it doesn't look comfortable either, does it?
Now, and the idea, they say, was to get him as a use it as a way to trigger his hands back, but you got to swing the bat. 4 strikeouts through 2 innings for Luke Weaver. Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. By your local Volkswagen dealer. And by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. Chris Bryant now with number 36 on the year. And the Cubs have a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. It's Carpenter, Jerko, and Brandon Moss. Cardinals have 19 consecutive games of the home run. 11 different Cardinals have homered during this streak. 1 more home run, and it becomes a club record.
They also have homered 20 straight times in this ballpark. 20 straight games.
The 2-0 pitch to Carpenter. I wonder if something is just bothering Carpenter with his eyes. He was doing that in his first at bat where he was squinting a little bit, also was fiddling a little bit with the right side of his face and his eyes.
That's what you're talking about right there, huh?
Yeah. Just hasn't looked very comfortable. There it is again. Yeah, something's not quite right.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to try to play this game, and if you can't see, it's real tough.
Yes, it is. Adam Olson, head trainer, paying attention.
The 2-1 pitch. Popped up left side. VR has a play. And Carpenter is 0 for 2.
Our great friend, Red Shaney's, a Hall of Famer. You know, so impressive with so many things, but when you think about it, he has one eye that's legally blind.
It happened when he was a kid on a farm, and a loose wire got stuck near the eye. And it caused all kinds of issues when he was a kid and did not report it to anybody. He was trying to just make a team, traveling from Illinois to St. Louis. Worked out for Branch Rickey, and they signed him. It's amazing to think of the history of the Cardinals. Red's still with us, sharp as ever. All the players that he's seen. It really struck me during the Cardinals Hall of Fame ceremony, and I was listening to Terry Moore's son talk about the book that Terry Moore had written about defense and how you play defense in center field. And there's Red listening, a man that played with him and had seen him for all those games.
Sure. You know, I'm sure you have the same picture that I have, where Terry Moore was flanked by Hall of Famers Enos Slaughter and Stan Musial, and Terry was the captain of that 42 team. I got a chance to meet Terry and his lovely wife Patty, and really, really down-to-earth, wonderful people. And glad to see that getting the recognition that's so well deserved. A lot of people thought he should be maybe in Cooperstown.
Yeah, if not for his service to our country, he very well could be. Missed 3 years. There's a strikeout of Jerko.
You can see he's really battling this vision problem. But you'll never see him complain, will you?
How many teams do you think, Al? I was talking with Rick Horton about this the other day. When they sign a player long term, you know, we talk about their knees and their arm, and you know, you test for everything. I wonder how many teams really test the vision to see where it's at before you sign a player to a long-term contract in a sport that's so important to have great vision.
That's a good point. I don't think I've ever really heard about it,
yeah,
but it would make sense.
I remember Carlos Beltran talking about how he would dial up a pitching machine at about 110 miles an hour and put big letters and numbers on tennis balls. And he'd take a stance from both sides of the plate, but tried to train his eye to read the number. A soft liner that's lifted out to second base, and the catch is made. The Cardinals go in order, and there's no score. The 15th anniversary of September 11th in our United in Service campaign. Team up with veterans at the Gamble Rec Center on September 10th. We'll spruce up the play areas, the ball fields, and more. For details and to volunteer, visit missioncontinues.org/event. Orlando Arcia, Martin Maldonado, and Matt Garza against Luke Weaver. He's seen 6 hitters and struck out 4. You mentioned it last night and again in the open. When you watch Luke Weaver, for the most part, his pitches are down in the zone. Now, he has given up 3 home runs, but when he misses, a lot of times it's missing low in the zone.
Yeah, and that's a tremendous attribute.
Popped up. Carpenter over near the stands and out of play.
I guess his eyes are good enough to see the ball on the carom. Tried to sell it. So our first base umpire, Nick Lentz. to go over here. It's a couple rows deep, but it comes back and he picks it.
There it is, down in the zone again, and a strikeout. That's number 5 for Luke Weaver. Garcia, the top prospect of the Brewers, just recently called up. Their shortstop of the future.
Yeah, so you really have two young players that kind of say, okay, well, you major league player ready or longtime guy like Braun, and then you got the Garcia, the top prospect for them. Luke Weaver recognizes number 2 behind Reyes for the Cardinals.
And that pitch is popped up. Long way to go for Carpenter. Over the shoulder catch for out number 2. Baldonado retired, and it brings in Matt Garza, who is 1 for 21 this year. Good start for Luke.
That really is. The only thing his pitch count is relatively low considering he's got 5 strikeouts. That's the thing you worry about with a lot of strikeouts. Your pitch count gets up there, but another factor is he doesn't walk many. So that helps him out. And as I say, every start he's able to is a little more efficient, even though his last start he threw 1 less pitch than his second start, but he got 1 more inning than the Philadelphia start. So it's been 4, 5, and 6, and then you got today, and it looks like he's going to be in there for a while.
Pitch count at 31, and a 1-0 pitch to Matt Garza. Chops it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Be interesting to see what kind of team the Cardinals have on Friday night in Cincinnati. For the first 5 months of the season, each team has a 25-man roster composed of players on the 40-man, but on September 1st, active rosters can expand. And you can use any player on that 40-man roster and bring them up.
Yeah, you could bring as many as 40 people up, and it's really tricky. Sometimes, some managers prefer to have the extra arms and legs and bats, and others don't. But I heard Jim Leland today on MLB Network, and was asked about bringing up 40 men, and he brought up a very interesting point, and I agree with him. You play 5 months under the 25-man rule, and then September becomes your most important month, and you change the rules.
A lot of people feel that way.
I agree.
3-2 pitch to Garza, and he walks. So the first base runner is Matt Garza. Of all people in this lineup, Matt Garza, the first base runner for Milwaukee tonight.
Luke need to do a little more scouting because Garza doesn't want to swing. Doesn't want to even be on base. Pick him off.
So here is VR. VR has a uniform that includes thigh pads. It's almost like the football thigh pads that you'll see the upcoming months, college and pro, as he slaps it the other way. Hazelbaker over to get it. His throw going into third, and that allows VR to go to second.
Well, I tell you what, I thought the one thing that they might have even had a play on Garza at third base, but VR's got that great speed. You got the pitcher running to third base, and Garza didn't look real comfortable.
Mentioned those thigh pads, and one of the reasons that he wears those is that when he slides, more times than not, it's like that, the head first slide.
Watch Garza run around here or tippy toe around the bases.
And it brings in Kirk Neuenhuis, struck out on a changeup first time up. And he looks at a ball.
Playing Neuenhuis off of waivers from the Mets.
And he smokes one deep right. And this ball is gone. 3-run homer, Kirk Neuenhuis.
Home runs, RBI total 42, 3 and 4. And Luke Weaver almost like mad at himself for walking Garza and made a couple careless pitches.
He's got to be kicking himself right now.
Absolutely. Getting up a home run in every start, but here's the walk to Garza. Now he's trying to frame it. And there you see a home run pitch. It's a changeup. He went back to that, but he left it. Now you got him out on it, but that one he was ready for.
Here's Ryan Braun. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and nobody on. So the walk to Garza, double by VR, and now a 3-run homer. And the Cardinals have to play catch up.
Weaver's 4th start and the 4th home run he's allowed, 1 in every start. Look at how that pitch count has jumped up. We thought he would get out of the inning with maybe 31, 32 pitches, and now all of a sudden he's making his 44th pitch.
Hit sharply to second, handled by Garcia. A 2-out, 3-run homer by Neuenhuis, and the Brewers have a lead. At Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more now until September 29th, and receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Get well wishes for Patrick McCool, big Cardinal fan. Recently was in an accident. Things are going to be all right. Never misses a game, and best wishes to Patrick McCool. There's Johnny Peralta, struck out his first time up. Cardinals trail by the score of 3-0. Ground ball that's hit to short, handled by Arcia. One away. The Cardinals trying to make it a 3-game sweep over Milwaukee. And under Mike Matheny here at this ballpark, the Cardinals are 31-12. 31-12 under Mike Matheny here at Miller Park.
Mike started his professional career in the Milwaukee Brewers organization. You touched on how well respected he is by the fan base here and the Milwaukee baseball family.
Molina takes a pitch high. He's singled first time up. Every year that Mike has been at the helm, the Cardinals have gone to postseason play.
Wasn't it 2011 where the Brewers were having a very successful year, and then late in the season we came in here and I don't know if we swept them or not, but we won the series. Things have changed.
Molina to left field. This ball will carry. Gone! Home run number 5 for Yadier Molina, and that's now a franchise record for the Cardinals. 20 consecutive games with a home run.
20 consecutive games. They extend their record for home runs in this month. It becomes their 21st consecutive game with a home run in Milwaukee. All kinds of records. And their 189th home run of the season, tops in the National League.
So the Cardinals get on the board. Molina's 5th home run of the year. He's 2 for 2. RBI number 41. 20 consecutive games with a home run. A new franchise record for the Cardinals.
It's a line drive. He didn't know if it would get up high enough to carry, and just sneaks over the wall.
Grichuk to short. Arcia 2 down. With 2 outs and nobody on, it brings in Jeremy Hazelbaker. We've said it a bunch, but who knew the Cardinals would hit like this in terms of power? But you were banking on guys, you know, young players like Grichuk, guys coming back from injury like Brandon Moss. You didn't know about Aledmys Diaz.
No, and I mean, you knew Grichuk had power, but who would think that Piscotty was going to hit 20?
Hazelbaker pops it up to the right side. Carter is over, and it's out of play.
We didn't know Jeremy Hazelbaker, period.
He's got 11. 14 of all these home runs have been pinch hit home runs. They're 1 shy of setting the all-time record for pinch hit home runs.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. All started in Atlanta, that one game where they had 3 rookies hit 3 pinch hit home runs in one game. That set a record. It's only the 9th home run that Garza is allowed, but he's really just about 77 innings.
0-2 pitch, and it's a strikeout of Jeremy Hazelbaker. The 4th of the night for Matt Garza. Redbirds get on the board. second base. Colton Wong on the bench with more on that. Let's check in with Jim.
Dan, Greg has been dealing with a sore right knee. He told me something got tweaked when he doubled against Oakland last Saturday. That game was followed by a day game, and Garcia said it just got more inflamed. He told me the knee is better, but not 100%. He said he feels like he's okay to play second base. He says playing short is out for now because it's just too much ground to cover. Mike Matheny said he watched Greg closely today, running and taking ground balls, and said that Garcia looked good. And Dan, Garcia has played exceptionally well, hitting .354 over his previous 12 games. So obviously they want to keep him as sharp as they can.
And remember, he had that big hit in game 1 of this series, a double late, and that proved to be a game winner as he scored. Let's hit out a play off the bat of Perez, who struck out on a changeup back in the second inning. And the count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike. It's an off day tomorrow for the club. We will travel to Cincinnati tonight. And the first of 3 against the Reds beginning on Friday night. As Perez lifts a fly ball out to deep right. On the move and making the catch on the run, Brandon Moss. Very good play.
That's 2 balls that Brandon Moss has tracked down right about that same area in right center. And both of them, you know, you thought they were going to get over his head, but he just very calmly just kept on going back on the ball. He knows he's going to get there and reaches up the last second and hauls it in. But
I've talked to Moss about plays like this, Al, and he said the key is you have to remember not to raise your glove too early.
Exactly.
As Carter lifts a high fly ball into center.
And the reason being that if you raise your glove early, and you only see outfielders do that when they're trying to deke a runner, because it does slow you down and you don't get to that point by raising it. So run to the spot you think it's going to be, and at the last second put the arm up like Moss did.
Moss has done a very nice job defensively, in particular at his natural position, which is the outfield. He's played a very good outfield.
Yeah, he's played more outfield than he has in first base, and he's made only 3 errors on the year, and he's bounced all around. Left to right to first base. I think that's very impressive. It's like Carpenter right now. You know, I mean, playing so many different positions the second half can't be easy.
2 outs and nobody on, and an 0-1 pitch to Broxton. Do you think because of the shuffling of the defense that it's affected the defense of the Cardinals overall?
Well, the defense has gotten better, but you know, by some means you would think that it would hinder it a little bit. But I give a lot of credit, like Jerko. I mean, I really didn't think. I think he's a better second baseman and third baseman than shortstop, but he hasn't embarrassed you. They don't have the greatest range, you know, for a Cardinal team. But I mean, he's played so much better, Jerko, at second and third base than I ever thought he could, and he, to keep his bat in the lineup, I'd keep him, you know, for days like this when you want to play him at short.
Diaz is on the way back at some point. As Jim reported, Garcia limited to second base. There's a fly ball to Moss again, backing up with room and makes the catch. 3 fly ball outs, and that sends us to inning number 5. 3-1 Milwaukee. All right, guys. Thank you. Top of 5, and it's 3-1 Milwaukee. Here's Greg Garcia. And a fastball and a strike. Okay, so we talked about the stirrups of Adam Wainwright last night. Those are the socks.
Yep, socks. No stirrup, no painting on, just red socks with stripes on.
Big curveball taken high.
And how about the National League West? The Giants have already won their game today. The Dodgers lost the first game of a doubleheader, and they're trailing in the second game to Colorado.
After we wrap up this trip, Cardinals go home for 7. As you get a look at the West, Dodgers up by a game, as Al mentioned. San Francisco 1 back, then Colorado 9. And then our final road trip of the year is not an easy one at all. San Francisco, that will be a big series for both clubs. And then you go to Colorado, and we say it all the time, but that's one of the tougher places to play. And then finish up at Chicago. That's a tough road trip.
You know, a couple weeks ago, you know, Colorado was still kind of flirting with the wild card, but sometimes it's easy for teams that are out of it, you know, to be free and easy and try to play that spoiler role. 5th strikeout for Garza.
Greater coverage of Major League Baseball presented by T-Mobile. So here you go. The wild card. Cardinals have a 2.5 game lead in front of Pittsburgh and New York. Miami now 3.5. And St. Louis 14 out in the Central Division. I think it's also interesting when you head to Chicago. The Cubs, for all intents and purposes, they've wrapped up the division. But when we get to there and you see the Chicago Cubs, a concern for any manager. Tony La Russa dealt with this with some of those clubs that ran away with the division, is keeping the edge down the stretch. There's something to think about.
That was one of the comments, or the question was asked of Jim Leyland. You know, how do you keep a team ready to play when you have that big lead? Sure, there's times where you can rest some players and you can kind of take some innings away from some of your starters, but it's a juggling act, and we've seen it where I think the 06 when the Detroit Tigers had that long waiting for the National League to decide who's going to play them, and they lost their edge.
Here's a 1-2. The Tigers then committed 5 errors in 5 games. Most of that done by their pitching staff, and the Cardinals won the World Series over Detroit.
I got a question for you, Dan. What does 39,403 represent?
I'm all ears.
That's how many days it's been since the Cubs won a World Series.
So it's been a while.
39,403. My desire is for the Cardinals, obviously, to get into postseason, but I would love to see them beat the Cubs.
Put a smile on your face.
It would put a big smile on my face. I wonder what it would do to the Cub fans.
Oh boy. As Weaver strikes out 2 in a row, and now 7 in this game. It's going to be a fun month. And we've had situations in which the Cardinals have played, and even though they ran away with the division, the games in September, for the most part, didn't mean a lot. And now you're playing meaningful baseball every single night.
Well, we saw it in 2006. You know, the Giants have experienced both Miami World Championships team. They were the wild card.
Carpenter breaks his bat. It's a fair ball. He's standing at the plate as Carter steps on the bat. So 1-2-3 go the St. Louis Cardinals. at the ballpark September 8th and the 13th. Head to Ford Plaza prior to the games. Meet adoptable furry friends from Gateway Pet Guardians and Helping Strays. Get your tickets at Cardinals.com.
Isn't that baseball right there? You got father, son, and grandfather. And that reminds me, one year at the fantasy camp, we had a 72-year-old grandfather. We had the father and two 30-year-old grandsons. Grandfather was from, and the family was from someplace in Illinois. But I remember the kids were, the boys, the 30-year-olds were like in Colorado, but they had a family reunion there for the weekend, and to see grandpa, dad, and the two grandsons all play baseball together.
It's neat.
It really is. I mean, it was
neat.
very special. And I mean, how many times you kind of talk about, family times, and you think about, going to the ballpark with your dad, or your grandfather took you there. I don't want to leave the girls out. They're all invited too, but it's been generation after generation just passing baseball, the love of the game on.
Many ways, the love of this franchise too.
Absolutely.
Long, rich tradition of the Cardinals.
Easy to back a winner, isn't it?
0-2 is swung on and missed, and a strikeout of Arcia. And so that strikeout number 6. Chevy Fox tracks.
Back to getting the ball down, and 6 strikeouts.
Brings in Martin Maldonado. He is popped out to first base. 0 for 1 tonight. 3-1 Milwaukee on a 3-run homer by Neuenhuis back in the 3rd. Cardinals have a solo home run off the bat of Molina. And history here tonight for the Cardinals. 20 consecutive games with a home run. 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's good to see that Weaver has gotten the composure back after that frustrating inning.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He's retired 5 in a row. And that's one of the things that you really like about him is his mannerisms, his composure on the mound. The veteran pitchers in spring training were very pleasantly surprised with how much he wanted to learn and how appreciative he was of the history of the game and respectful.
Two and 2 the count. 1 out and nobody on. Hit out of play. Last time the Cardinals had a game in which they did not hit a home run was back on August 8th. The 2-2. And that swung on and missed. Strikeout number 7. That was a game you may recall. The Cardinals were trailing for the entire game 4-0 to the Reds and came back with 5 in the bottom of the 9th to win it.
Without a home run, too.
Without a home run. It is something to keep in mind when you think about this team if they get into postseason play. The ability to strike with a home run.
I was just thinking about that too. It's also nice to know that you can be behind in a ball game.
Yes.
And then how this club really responds from the 7th inning on. Oh boy.
It's hit inside the Brewers dugout, but everybody's okay.
Yeah, just glad that was low enough to stay in the dugout and not into the stands. Got their attention though, didn't it?
Oh yeah. Here's an 0-2 pitch. I'll tell you what, watching Matt Garza swing the bat, if I'm first base line and a fan, I'm paying attention. 0-2.
He's made more contact today.
Right.
There's a giveaway item, a fedora.
Very popular.
Oh, it looks outstanding on that young man. He's made more contact in this at bat than I've ever seen him before. 1 for 21 this year. He's an .082 hitter.
And the 0-2 pitch. Garza is swinging a miss. He strikes out this side, and that's 8 through 5 innings for Luke Weaver. 3-1 Brewers. In history that night, 30,000 fans 16 and older receive an Eddie Goodell bobblehead commemorating his historic plate appearance with the St. Louis Browns back in 1951. It's courtesy of Maryville University, and visit cardinals.com/promotions for tickets. 6th inning rolls in Matt Garza, and the Brewers have a 3-1 lead. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for the Cardinals: Jerko, Moss, and Peralta. Game 1 of this series, Carlos Martinez strikeout 13 in only 6 innings. That was a 6-5 win. Wainwright very good last night. Cardinals again had to come from behind, and that's what they're going to have to do here tonight. Only mistake by Luke Weaver was the walk with 2 outs back in the 3rd to Garza. Then the double by VR and a 3-run homer by Neuenhuis, and outside of that, he's been very good tonight.
And we both kind of feel that he kind of got out of his game plan when he walked Garza and then managed himself and made a couple pitches. Wasn't that bad a pitch to VR, but location on the changeup wasn't where you wanted it to a low ball hitter like Neuenhuis. You want it lower or higher, but not down and in.
So here is Jerko, reached on an air and struck out. So Jed now at 24 home runs, which is a career high. 13 of the 24 he has hit have given the Cardinals a lead or tied the game.
Very impressive.
17 home runs since the All-Star break. It's tied with Brian Dozier of Minnesota for most in baseball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
We've all seen home run hitters that, you know, they never hit an important one. You know, when they're up by 5 or 6 is when they hit home runs or something of that nature, but his have been meaningful.
The 2-0. Chopped left side, easy hop there for VR, and he makes the play. So Jerko, the first out here in the 6th.
I was talking to Brandon Moss today, and I asked, you must see the ball very well off of Garza, and he said, well, it's not that. It just seems like he always makes mistakes to me. And said that Garza, you know, is very capable. He can be a very good pitcher. You don't sign that big free agent contract for nothing. But it seems like he will make mistakes, and can you capitalize on them?
In the air, right field, and the catch is made. Well, that's where the shift comes into play big time.
Garza liked that one, but I'll explain how your second baseman makes it play, what, 300 and some feet away from the outfield. Short right field, and he makes a nice long run. Almost overran it.
So here's Peralta, who is 0 for 2. Grounded out to short and struck out. First pitch is taken low.
Johnny now 18 for 42 off of Garza. Couple home runs.
Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Probably won't see Peralta get close to 100% until spring training of next year.
Right.
Sped up the process to get him back and available with that sore hand and thumb. You talked about Jim Leland earlier in the telecast. Jim Leland will coach Team USA in the World Baseball Classic, so that means spring training starts even earlier next year.
You know, it's, to me, it's maybe even beneficial a little bit to position players. I would have a hard time wanting my pitchers to do that.
A strikeout of Peralta as he drops the bat. 7 tonight for Garza. And the workplace wellness event of the year. It's the Biz Dash, Thursday, September 15th at Ballpark Village. There's a 5K, live music, and more. Fox Sports Midwest presents the team competition. So create your company team. Join in the fun by visiting stlbizdash.com. Always find something to do at the ballpark. Well, Luke Weaver struck out the side. In the bottom of inning number 5, he has struck out 8 in this game, but the Cardinals trail 3-1.
You're talking about all the strikeouts that Cardinal pitchers have gotten, or how many times the Brewers have struck out this year, over 1,200. Carter has the most strikeouts in the National League, 170. VR is second with 145.
He's at the plate. He doubled and scored in that new and ice home run. I don't know if you agree with this. I've been trying to think of who Luke Weaver reminds me of. And I think body type a little bit Mike Leake. But then I think of his stuff, and it reminds me a little bit of Tim Hudson.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Got
Kind
a
of
little
the
bit of the
same physique.
yeah, the mannerisms, the stuff.
You know, he's got a very simple windup. Not a lot of moving parts, so it's easy to be repeatable. Which I still can't understand why people can't have muscle memory and have a repeatable delivery.
I talked to Tim Hudson one time. He used to go behind the mound, start in the back end of the mound, and actually act like he was pitching. He had a towel in which his front foot would then go towards the rubber, so he'd be pitching uphill. And there's a strikeout as to accentuate his stride. Remember, he had a pretty long stride for not being a big guy, and Weaver's got that a little bit too.
Ninth strikeout.
Take you back to the 3rd inning and a 3-run homer with 2 outs. There was a walk, a double, and then the 3-run shot.
Well, he struck out Nieuwenhuis the first time up on a changeup, and he tried to repeat that changeup and put it right in the wheelhouse, and he made him pay for it. 3-run home run, his 13th of the year. Nieuwenhuis has good numbers here at Miller Park, but on the road doesn't do anything.
Here's a 1-0. High chopper and past Peralta against the shift. Gene Segura, Chris Davis, Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, Marco Estrada, all enjoying very good seasons for their respective teams, and these are former players that were here in Milwaukee. Cain and Escobar, very good deal that included Zach Greinke coming to Milwaukee. Or rather, from Kansas City,
yeah,
Greinke, and then those two went to the Royals. But still here, Ryan Braun.
We touched on it, still got several years left on a very lucrative contract.
4 years, $76 million after this season.
Had back surgery in the off season, so you wonder if teams shy away. Sometimes back surgeries, you have one and it weakens or an area below or above and becomes a domino effect.
You saw the Kubota power stats, most RBIs in this ballpark, and that's smoked out to right. That will go all the way to the wall. Nieuwenhuis can run. He's being waved in. And then held up. He may have scored.
I think he would have scored, but Ed Cedar, the third base coach, came all the way down the line to give himself a better opportunity to see how the play evolves and whether he could stop him. So the throw from Moss had short hop Garcia. And if it would have gotten all the way to him, then you probably could have thrown him out. But with the short hop, I thought Nieuwenhuis could have scored. Said he runs pretty well. He picks up his third base coach, who's almost down to the batting circle. There's only 1 out. That's what makes Braun so dangerous as a hitter, because he can hit the ball at the ballpark, but he's so good at hitting the ball to the opposite field.
So the infield is drawn in. Hernan Perez will be the hitter. Fly to deep right. Very good play by Moss, and also struck out on a changeup. pulled foul.
The string on him there, had him out in front. Pulovich. He showed something in game 1 as he was very effective in his most recent call-up. Weaver's going to get out of this.
Here's the 0-1. Just missed.
Dan, this is my first time seeing Weaver pitch live, and I know I've been very impressed with him keeping the ball down. You would think that he'd get a lot of ground balls. At least tonight, he's been more of a fly ball pitcher than a ground ball pitcher, and for the most part, he's been a strikeout pitcher. Can't strike anybody out until you get 2 strikes.
Three and 1. We showed you the other day, Chris Kreider with the bases loaded has terrible numbers, but he's one of the guys that you'd say, I don't want to see him up with the bases loaded.
Yeah, I mean, he's a mistake hitter.
Will we see him in that spot? Here's a 3-1 pitch by Weaver. We will. Second walk issued by Weaver. Pitch count only at 84. And now activity in the Cardinals pen.
You know, it's one of those situations where he walked Perez there, but it's like his last start. There was a situation where I'm not sure that they really cared whether he walked or not. 170 strikeouts for Carter, but you can see this season 0 for 11 with 8 punch-outs. Now he's 3rd in the National League with his 30 home runs. Most of the time, he's going to hit a mistake. So you make your good pitches, you get him out.
Bases loaded, first pitch. Taken inside. Carter has grounded into 15 double plays, second most on the Brewers roster.
Saw that 165 average.
And it's popped up. Carpenter over and out of play.
165 average with runners in scoring position, so you obviously have to respect his power. But if you make your pitches, you just have to trust your stuff, believe in your ability.
Here's a 1-1. Tied him up. 1-2.
There he wanted to elevate that ball a little bit, get it up and in, tie him up. You can see now he's got that great changeup.
1-2 pitch in the dirt.
Bust a couple on the inside. Then he tried the changeup down and away. Just pulled down on it a little too much. Don't want it to go full. But this is the pitch you're going to retire him on.
The 2-2 pitch to Carter with the bases loaded.
The breaking ball there. Do you throw the fastball in, or do you throw the changeup?
Carter popped up on the infield. The infield fly. And the catch made by Garcia. What a big out there.
Big out, absolutely. That's what you love to see. And at times, you really want to see a young pitcher get in trouble and see how they handle it. Do they wilt or do they respond to the challenge? Luke Weaver did what we thought he would do, and that's respond to that challenge. Now you got one more batter. You get out of this situation right now, and you're going to win this ball game.
Bases loaded, and Keon Broxton. Ball one. He's lined out to right and struck out. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is where the experience of Yadier Molina is invaluable.
Yeah, well, you can tell that Yadi's trying to slow him down a little bit as Weaver a little bit humped up, amped up a little bit, and take your time and breathe.
2 strikes. 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam. Cardinals are 5 spots away in the lineup from Weaver. Pitch count at 93.
The game is right here. This at bat for Weaver.
The 1-2 pitch. He got him. Caught him looking. Strands the bases loaded with strikeout number 10 by Luke Weaver. Carter with the bases loaded popped out, and Broxton couldn't pull the trigger. It stays 3-1. Kicks off this weekend. Mizzou opens up the season Saturday at West Virginia. You can see that game on FS1. The start of the Barry Odom era for the Tigers. Mizzou and West Virginia Saturday morning at 11 on FS1. Here's Yadier Molina.
And let's hope that momentum now on the Cardinals side and score some runs.
Molina is 2 for 2.
Luke Weaver showed you why he is so well thought of.
Here's our Nissan drive of the game. Home run by Molina. Now 20 consecutive ball games for the Cardinals in which they've hit a home run. That means Carlos Martinez has been busy.
Surprised he didn't get a sore arm. Of course, he's throwing that water from the underside.
By the way, I've been told that Bob Uecker on the Brewers radio side tells his listeners that I have organized a riverboat cruise on the off day tomorrow in Cincinnati, and that you still have your meal money from the first day you pitched.
Really? I'll tell you what, it's got some. We used to get interest back then, you know. Thanks, Uke.
He's the best.
Oh, I saw you talking to him earlier. I got a chance to.
We talked for 45 minutes, and one of the things that we got into, again, was the Tuba story. And he said he never played the 1964 World Series. I don't know if you knew that, but he never got in. And Red Schoendienst told Bob 2 years ago, and he never knew this, that Johnny Keane had told him, I will not play Bob Uecker in this World Series because of that.
Because of the Tuba incident.
Yes. He said he never knew that until 2 years ago. Strikeout of Molina. Johnny Keane never played the major leagues. He was, though, a shortstop in the Cardinals minor league system, and he had a head injury after he was hit by a pitch, and he started managing in the late 1930s and then was a part of that triumphant run in 1964. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation in this inning.
And I don't know this for a fact, but that was probably back in an era where you didn't have helmets. They had a little liner in your hats that provided zero protection. Remember, Don Zimmer had a metal plate inserted in his head after being beamed.
Bob is a very good man. Very good to all of us.
Outstanding. Native of Milwaukee.
0-2 the count on Randall Grichuk.
And I wish I had meal money. You know, my very first, I joined the ball club in the middle of an 18-day road trip. And the remaining meal money, and it's not like the meal money that they get today, but I came up on like June 15th, and I got more meal money than what my paycheck was in the minor leagues.
Is that right?
I was making $800 a month in the minor leagues. You play 5 months to come up for the ungodly sum of $12,000 a year.
Grichuk got in just enough. Jammed just a bit, lifts it out to center, and there's 2 down. Matt Garza has pitched very well here tonight.
And Dan, Cardinals need to put a little push on right here, because he's never this season he's pitched into the 7th inning, but he's never completed the 7th inning. So indication how well he's pitching tonight. Cardinals only have 2 hits, and both of those by Molina.
So here is Jeremy Hazelbaker. Nobody on and 2 outs. He has walked. He has struck out.
In my mind, Luke Weaver's night is through. Another real plus performance and more lessons learned.
Here's a ground ball hit to the right side. Carter will take it. Beats Hazelbaker to the bag. It's time to stretch. Brewers leading 3-1. Miguel Sokolovic will take over for the Cardinals. And what's on tap is presented by Budweiser. Second major league start for Alex Reyes as he'll get the call on Friday night. We will be in Cincinnati for the first of 3. Anthony DeSclafani will go for the Reds. They're still undetermined with their Game 2 starter. Cardinals will have Jaime Garcia. And then Carlos Martinez on Sunday, the day game against Dan Straley.
Sokolovic, his 5th appearance, he's been up and down a couple times, but he pitched first game of this series and did a very nice job.
Here's Arcia, first pitch and a ground ball. It's hit to third. Peralta makes the play. Orlando Arcia is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Sokolovic was the opening game. He was the winner when he went 1 2/3 innings. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and came in a very tough spot. Really did a nice job and really impressed Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist. He said he'll get more important outings moving forward. He did a nice job last year when he came up.
Pitch taken low by Martin Maldonado. Not a lot of offense in this game. Just 6 hits combined. Cardinals with only 2. Maldonado is struck out and popped out. Don't see Molina stab at that, if you will, or swipe at it. Usually very soft with his hands.
Indication of ball movement. Look at that movement late. It just really took off on him. Very quiet behind the plate. He can frame balls and help your pitchers out.
2-1.
Sokolovic pitched in 28 games last year. He was 4-1. Did a real nice job.
That's yanked foul. On the pitch arsenal, the fastball, slider, and a very good changeup.
Yeah, the changeup is a big pitch for him. Kind of thinking back last year, I didn't realize he threw that many sliders, where you're thinking fastball doesn't have the high octane, but he has the ability to spot it very well.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. Hit to short. There's Jerko. Anything hit at him, Jed Jerko, for the most part, is going to make the play. Hey, Cardinal fans, next time you want to grab seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find the seats you'll love whenever you want, find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. So get the StubHub app today.
What a ladies' man Euchre is.
Isn't he, though?
Absolutely. Chick's digging.
Matt Garza had 90 pitches, so I'm going to try to squeeze one more out, or one more inning, if not 2 more out of him.
And the Cardinals, usually the 7th, 8th, and 9th is when they open up their offense. So hopefully that's more to come.
1-0 pitch. The Brewers, as we've talked about, they've dropped 6 in a row, and the culprit in those games for the most part has been their offense. A total of 10 runs in those 6 games.
And a ton of strikeouts, so it's hard to kind of get anything going.
The 1-1. Ground ball hit to the right side. Miguel to the bag, and Garza is the 3rd out. So 1, 2, 3 for Miguel Sokolovic. We head to the 8th. The top of the 8th. Matt Garza is still pitching in this game. Cardinals will have Greg Garcia, then the pitcher spot, and Matt Carpenter. Steven Piscotty has moved to the on-deck circle. Garza with 8 strikeouts tonight. He's allowed just 2 base hits. Both have been to Yadier Molina. A base hit to center field in the 2nd inning, and a solo home run, Yadi's 5th of the year. That was in the 4th. Brewers jumped out to a 3-0 lead off of Luke Weaver, who struck out 10 tonight. It was a 2-out walk to Matt Garza for their first base runner in the 3rd. Villar slapped a double the other way, and then Neuenhuis his 13th home run. A 3-run shot to account for the scoring of the Milwaukee Brewers. So the 10 strikeouts for Luke Weaver, the most by a rookie. Shelby Miller at 13, Dick Hughes at 13. A lot of strikeouts in this lineup for Milwaukee these last 3 nights.
By the way, Shelby Miller was called up and made the start today. I see where San Francisco beat Arizona 4-2. So I'm sure that's a plus no matter what.
Trying to get him going.
Yeah, I talked to Tony La Russa at Albert Pujols' golf tournament, and I specifically asked about Shelby, and he just said that you know, all the losing he had last year where he pitched so well but didn't get any run support, said season started submarining. He had an ERA over 7. He said, but he thought that he had really started turning the corner. He said he had just thrown like a 3-hitter. That was close to a month ago. And so they're still very high on him, even though there was rumor that they tried to trade him. But I know a lot of people in the Cardinal Nation still care about Shelby.
0-2 is taken high by Garcia, 1-2. Rounded into a fielder's choice and also struck out back in the 5th. Big gap in right center. Only 2 hits tonight for the Cardinals. And the 1-2 pitch by Garza. Swung on and popped foul and out of play. Well, it's the kind of deal that any way you want to look at it, it does not look good for Arizona. When you have Dansby Swanson, who is the #1 overall pick in the country 2 years ago, now in the big leagues, and the shortstop for many years to come for the Atlanta Braves, and the guy that you get is in the minor leagues. Little flare hit to the left side and out of play.
Yeah, there's no way to sugarcoat it.
Nope.
And once we saw Tony La Russa when he was here, remember the early years, he made a lot of trades for major league talent using the farm system, and you can do that, and then you run out of farm system. You run out of prospects, but they built up the farm system, and now the Cardinals have that.
1-2 is a base hit into right. That will bring the tying run to the plate.
The Cardinals have been able to rebuild the farm system. They have a contending team every single year, and the farm system, it maybe gets a little shallow at the top, but there's a whole bunch of prospects in between. Dropped the bat head on that inside pitch and pulls it through. See, he's been swinging the bat very well of late.
So brings in Piscotty. It just looked like after game 2 he needed the night off. Struck out 4 times last night. Piscotty as a pinch hitter this year is 0 for 3. Cardinal pinch hitters with 14 home runs. They've driven in 40 this year. Great production from the bench.
And you're right. We both looked at the lineup and said it was a good time to get Piscotty out of there and just sit back and relax and watch, and hopefully he can come through in the clutch here. Career high of 20 home runs for Piscotty, and he's, everybody's going to struggle at times, but second half he's hit a little bit of a wall, but hopefully can work his way out of it.
Here's a 1-0. Base hit by Garcia, snuck through the right side. I'm not sure it's a pitch that Garza really wanted. Watch Maldonado here. So he wanted that pitch. Garza said okay, and then afterwards the reaction from both of them was not real happy.
You know how I kind of looked at it is he just decided he was going to throw what he wanted, and not sure Maldonado knew what it was coming. So watch, you know, putting down a sign here, he's putting all down there. Now he's trying to say, okay, fastball, let it go. And then he's like not sure, and all of a sudden he starts his windup.
Two balls and a strike on Piscotty. Five home runs to tie a game this year. The 2-1. Foul back, 2-2.
Second on the team with his 8 game-winning RBIs. Leads the team in RBIs, hits, runs, and just second, tied for second with 29 doubles. And Carpenter have 29 doubles to Yachty's 30. Look at that gap in left center.
Piscotty breaks his bat and pulls it foul.
One pitches thrown. Probably Garza's last inning. And if we didn't have pitch counts, I would imagine every starter, you know, I'd say the complete games were between 120 and 130.
His high this year is 103. He's done that twice.
I think he's going to pass that tonight. He's already had his most innings pitched tonight.
Here's a 2-2. Taken high. Carpenter on deck.
Walks as good as a hit.
It's a Cardinals team that in many ways this year they've just been relentless in these types of games.
Boy, how many times we see a Cardinal team that they score early and then they stopped.
3-2 is taken low. Runners at first and second, and here comes Carpenter. Good at bat by Piscotty. A couple of those pitches were balls last night that he chased.
He tied his pitches high, 103. I'm sure Counsell wants to go to that bullpen.
It's Carlos Torres who pitched here last night, and Garza, a nice round of applause. is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Miller Park in Milwaukee. The Cardinals have the tying runs aboard. Nobody out. Matt Carpenter coming up. And the new pitcher is right-hander Carlos Torres. Number of seasons with the Mets. Picked up by the Brewers, and this is appearance number 60 this year.
Yeah, Torres did a really nice job the last couple of years with the Mets, but they didn't want to have him get a big raise in arbitration, so they released him. He signed a minor league contract with Atlanta, but he had a stipulation that if he didn't make the big league club, he could get his release. And that's what happened, and then the Milwaukee signed him to a free agent contract on April the 2nd.
Braves couldn't use him? Huh. Pretty good track record with this guy.
Yeah, he really. I remember he had a couple long outings, relief outings against the Cardinals, really did the job.
You'd think a team like the Braves, you're going to have games in which you're beat up. You know, you need guys to give you innings out of that bullpen.
Yeah, somebody
he's done that. He's durable.
Durable and understands the situation. Veteran with no ego.
Here's a 1-0. And a strike to Carpenter, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Fly to left, popped out to third, and also grounded out.
Check and see if that eyes are a little better. Not blinking as much. Still a little irritation though. I don't know if he wears contacts, and you said you weren't sure either, but all I know is it's time for him to hit.
Here's a 1-1. Carpenter hits it down the right field line. It is foul. Barely.
Look at Carpenter's.
He thought it was gone.
Yeah. And it had to be awful close, but I told him it was time to hit, and he hit it.
Carpenter put both hands on top of his head as if to say, I can't believe that's not gone.
And that is the correct call.
Oh.
Counsel in the background.
You think about this matchup, though, with Carpenter. This is the kind of guy that he'll hit. Down in the zone, to a lefty.
Kind of think of a lot of cutters, sliders.
Yes.
You know, a little bit quick on that one.
Home run distance and just foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Carpenter. Carpenter lines it to second, and everybody else is safe. Good base running there by both Garcia and Piscotty.
You're absolutely right. You know, you get a situation like that, you're behind, you want to get a good jump, you're thinking I'm going to score on any base hit, second base, and you fail to get back on that line drive. And look at Piscotty, you know, there in no man's land, but Carter, the first baseman, was well behind him. Was able to get here. How about Jerko? You know, he's come through so many times in the clutch, hasn't he?
He sure has. Reached on an error, struck out, and grounded out. He's trying to put the Cardinals on top.
13 of his 24 home runs have tied or given the team a lead. Got 10 home runs here in August. 17 home runs since the All-Star break. The do factor.
Brandon Moss on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals were maybe inches away from having the lead in this game.
Not a big average with runners in scoring position, but doesn't really tell the story of his season.
The 1-1 to Jerko. Hits it out of play.
Right down the middle, right? Sometimes best place to pitch a guy. Doesn't know where to inside out it, pull it, what to do, and pitch right down the middle confuses him.
The 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two the count. Runners at first and second. A base hit by Garcia. Walk to Piscotty. Line out by Carpenter. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the shortstop Jed Jerko. And the next to him. Struck him out.
It's twice tonight that he's called third strike, and it's right there, down and away. Good pitch.
Brandon Moss has lined out. He was swinging on a 3-0 pitch against Garza back in the first. That was to right field. Popped out to second and hit a soft liner into shallow right back in the 6th, but that ball was caught thanks to the shift.
4th season with 20 or more home runs for Moss. Leads the team with his 25.
The first pitch to Brandon Moss.
Moss has 25 2-out RBIs, second best on the team.
Just wonder if Torres and Maldonado feel that even though you would put the tying run in scoring position, are you better off dealing with Peralta on deck as opposed to Moss? Meaning just don't give him anything to hit.
That's what came to my mind when you saw them go out there for a lengthy meeting. It was like, don't let this guy beat you.
Exactly. Both pitches have been inside for balls. 2-0 the count. Peralta is 0 for 3. He's on deck with a couple of the strikeouts. And clearly that looks to be the case. You know, this time last year, the year before that, certainly you wouldn't say that with Peralta, but they see what we're seeing. You know, he's not swinging the bat quite to the level that he was with the hand injury.
The only thing that surprised me a little bit is you would think if you're kind of doing that, you'd pitch outside rather than inside.
You know, he's got the green light. The mighty cut. 3-1.
Inside late in the ball game where the ball gets over the middle of the plate a little bit, you could pull it and get a cheap home run.
3-1 pitch. Inside, and the bases are loaded. It is the risk you run in putting that tying run in scoring position. Second walk in the inning. So Torres has come in. He got the line out from Carpenter. He struck out Jerko looking. The walk to Moss, and now it's Peralta with the bases loaded. Luke Weaver had the bases loaded and only 1 out. And no one scored. Now it's the Cardinals' turn. First pitch to Peralta.
Just thought of another thing. Over 360 average for Peralta in this ballpark. You never would have done that last year.
Sure.
But an indication, and you touch on, because of that thumb, you know, he won't be at full strength probably until next year.
Here's the 0-1.
Slider backed up on him a little bit there.
1 ball, 1 strike. Base hit could tie it.
Big gap in right center, but
the 1-1. Two strikes on Johnny Peralta.
overthrow a slider and get a wild pitch here. Try and throw a slider and get a frisbee. Leave it up in the middle of the plate. Take a grand slam, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. On 1-2. Peralta takes a pitch low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch to Peralta. Johnny sends a fly ball out to center. Broxton with room. On the track, and he makes the catch. Cardinals strand, the bases loaded. And it stays a 3-1 Brewers lead. Baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Summer months, you come to Milwaukee, a little cooler weather. That's what we experienced today. It was gorgeous today here in Milwaukee. Jonathan Broxton takes over for the Cardinals, trailing 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. And he will get the top of the lineup. Jonathan Villar, Kirk Nieuwenhuis, and Ryan Braun. Villar has doubled and scored on the 3-run homer by Nieuwenhuis back in the 3rd to account for the scoring for the Milwaukee Brewers. Cardinals with just 3 hits, Milwaukee with only 4. Hit down the left field line and slicing foul out of play.
Nice job by Sokolovich. Faced 3 batters, getting through the 7th inning.
Here's the 0-1. Big Cardinal fan. Bob Bender is watching baseball tonight. The Passmores are here, led by Justin, as they've been traveling with us on this road trip. Took in the Cardinals Hall of Fame Also the Speaker Series last week. Here's a 1-1.
Speaking of them, Justin cornered me in the lobby of the hotel today, and about 20 minutes later, I got to sneak away
From the Passmores?
from the Passmores.
They have been everywhere.
Good fans.
2-2, and that caught Molina.
Get him on the bare hand. Look, he's in pain. See where this went to foul ball.
He's got the throwing hand behind his body to protect him, but it went through the legs, it looked like, and caught him.
Yeah. See him there. Concerned, but
the 2-2. Take it outside, 3-2. Big gap in right center. And the next pitch by Broxton. Fly ball lifted into shallow center field. Grichuk. One away. Cardinals will have Molina, Grichuk, and Hazelbaker coming up. Well, he's not in this game right now, but he has been a difference maker this year. BJC Healthcare difference maker Sun Wan Oh picked up a save in game 1 of the series, pitched in the 9th last night. His opponents are only hitting .171 against him this year.
a lot of strikeouts.
Here's Kirk Neuenice. His home run back in the 3rd, the difference. 13th of the year.
I think every time O goes out there, Matt Slater's got a big smile on his face, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Matt works in the front office for the Cardinals and travels all over the place. Many in that front office trying to find talent. 0-2. And with 2 strikes now, Garcia backing up near the shortstop area. O2 pitch by Jonathan Broxton. Cardinals want to remind everybody still a few spots remaining for the fantasy camp coming up in the off season. Very nice video on Cardinals.com and see the excellent play of so many of the campers. Here's a 1-2. Struck him out.
They even turned a double play, huh?
You see a double play on there. The speed.
Broxton just powers the ball through, up and away right there. Said
Well, you were talking about Matt Slater. I thought fantasy camp because you might find the next star.
oh, you know, you watch those games and you see like 0 for 4, but then you read their blog or something about how they went 4 for 4. And you go, wait a minute, we went 0 for 4. Oh, I hit the ball. It was fair. You go, I guess you're right.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Ryan Braun. 0-2. So Broxton has come in, got VR, fly out to center. Neuenice struck him out. Now 0-2 on Braun, who is double to right.
Broxton's better outings recently.
Absolutely. Back-to-back strikeouts. And with that, sends us to the 9th. 3-1 Milwaukee. Tyler Thornburg pitch in the 9th inning last night. Struck out the side. That was Carpenter, Jerko, and Piscotti. This is Chevy Cole to the pen. He's had a very good year, 1.81 ERA. And this will be the 3rd day in a row that he's been used. Trying to snap this 6-game losing streak for Milwaukee.
Yeah, and here's, maybe kind of the explanation that why guys like Lee Smith and some of the others are not being more considered for the Hall of Fame.
First pitch is grounded to second. Perez is there for the out.
Today, you got a guy like Torres who does a job where he comes in with a couple men on base and going through a better part of the order. He had a tougher assignment than what Thornburg has. And, the point to where they start innings fresh, got these kind of leads, a 2-run lead here, nobody on base. And I think that's the only thing I can really figure out why a lot of the closers are being penalized in the Hall of Fame voting.
It is interesting. There are some that believe that a closer, your best pitcher, ideally should be used when the game's on the line in the 7th or the 8th.
I've heard Whitey Herzog say that sometimes he would have a tough time not bringing in my best option when the game's on the line before the 9th inning.
1 ball and 1 strike.
And in years past, you say your starter goes, he would go whatever, but just because it's a save situation, you never took the pitcher that was pitching well out of the ball game. He was allowed to try and finish the ball game. If you got in trouble, then you brought in your fireman.
As we know, economics in many ways can drive that decision. You're trying to help the livelihood of a pitcher, and I know fans don't want to hear that, but you ask any manager, it is something that they do take into consideration.
And now you're starting to have to pay a high price for your setup men.
Sure. A little bit low with that changeup, 2-2. Right now the Cardinals looking for a base runner, just a chance. Hazelbaker on deck.
Well, we know Grichuk could be in scoring position standing in the batter's box.
2-2 to center. 2 outs. And we turn to tonight's Budweiser player of the game. Kirk Neuenhuis, 2 for 4, 3-run homer. One of the only mistakes made by Luke Weaver. He walked Garza, gave up a double, then the 3-run shot by Neuenhuis back in the 3rd as Weaver struck out 10 in his 4th major league start. But right now he's on the short end of it. Cardinals down to their final out. It's 3-1.
Somehow, some way, get on base and extend the inning.
2 outs, nobody on. Hazelbaker looks at a strike. Another situation where the Cardinals have a chance to get to 10 games above 500. Multiple times they've been in this spot, haven't been able to do it.
And you just hate to see when they dominate, or win the first 2 games and just can't close out a sweep.
Not done yet, though.
No.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Garza was good tonight.
Hazelbaker fouls it back. One and 2 the count. Hazelbaker trying to extend this game to Greg Garcia on deck. Brewers trying to snap their 6-game skid.
Now the Brewers are 20 games under 500, but they're 1 game over 500 at home.
1-2 pitch. Hazelbaker with a fly ball out to deep right field, and it's caught. The man who catches it, Neuenhuis, the man that hits a decisive 3-run homer in this game. 3-1 the final. Losing skid comes to a close for Milwaukee. Off day for the Cardinals tomorrow as we're off to Cincinnati.
I thought Luke Weaver, even though he got a loss in this ball game, he pitched extremely well. He learned some very valuable lessons, and to be that much better off his next start.
Well, for us, it's off to the postgame show. The Brewers 3, the Cardinals 1. Postgame show comes your way next.